Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that glorifies effort, motion, doing. If you're not constantly busy, it's assumed something must be wrong. But let me ask you, the best ideas arise when you stop chasing them. This might sound counterintuitive in a world that places such a heavy emphasis on relentless effort and constant striving. We're told that success comes from working harder, pushing further, and continuously aiming for the next milestone. But what if the opposite were true? What if the best ideas, the most groundbreaking insights, are not born from hours of grueling mental labor, but instead emerge in moments of ease, space, and silence? Our minds, contrary to what modern productivity culture suggests, are not machines to be forced into brilliance. They are gardens of vast, fertile landscapes where ideas grow and bloom naturally, given the right conditions. Just as a garden requires time, patience, and an absence of forceful intervention to flourish, our minds too need space to breathe and allow thoughts to develop organically. The problem is that we often fail to recognize this truth. We are so caught up in the rush of our everyday lives, trying to squeeze every last drop of potential from our efforts, that we forget to pause, to reflect, to step back and let things settle. And in that frantic scramble for more, we inadvertently block the very creativity we seek to cultivate. Think of it like trying to force a flower to bloom by tugging at it every few minutes. The more you pull, the more you disrupt its natural rhythm. But when you step back, remove your hands, and allow the flower to simply be, it begins to unfurl on its own. Similarly, when we force ourselves to generate ideas on demand, we create a mental tension that stifles creativity. We push against the natural flow of our thoughts, trying to manufacture inspiration in a way that simply isn't sustainable or effective. Great ideas come when we allow our minds to relax into the present moment, when we stop gripping tightly to our need for answers and instead make room for those answers to come to us. We've all experienced those moments when an idea strikes out of nowhere, perhaps while we're walking, showering, or even drifting off to sleep. These are the moments when our minds, freed from the pressure of constant striving, are able to make connections and insights that were previously obscured by the noise of our thoughts. There is a kind of magic in not forcing it. When we take the time to step back and let go of the need to control every aspect of our thinking, we open the door to creativity in a way that relentless effort never can. This is why some of the most innovative minds throughout history have attributed their best ideas to moments of stillness or relaxation. Einstein, for example, came up with his theory of relativity while he was daydreaming, gazing out the window and allowing his mind to wander. The key was not in trying to force a breakthrough but in allowing space for one to occur naturally. This process of giving ourselves permission to simply be, to not chase ideas relentlessly, is one of the most powerful tools for fostering creativity. The mind, like a garden, thrives when it's allowed to breathe and grow without unnecessary interference. The paradox is that the more we try to push ideas into existence, the less likely they are to materialize in any meaningful way. But when we release our need to control every aspect of the creative process, we allow the mind to work in its own mysterious way, leading us to breakthroughs and insights that would have otherwise remained just out of reach. To create the right conditions for great ideas to arise, we must give ourselves permission to step back. We must learn to trust that ideas will come when the time is right, not when we demand them. It is not about doing more but about doing less in the right way. By embracing stillness, by allowing our minds the time and space to wander, we tap into a deeper level of creativity that cannot be forced, only nurtured. In the end, the best ideas are not something we chase, they are something we make room for. By relinquishing control and trusting in the natural flow of our thoughts, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities that would remain hidden if we continued to race toward the next big breakthrough. The garden of our minds will thrive when we stop trying to force it to bloom and instead, give it the space to do so on its own. Creativity flows through the still mind. It is a statement that seems simple, almost too obvious, yet it holds a profound truth that many overlook in their quest for innovation. In our fast-paced world, we often think of creativity as something that must be worked for, that must be coaxed into existence with endless effort, deadlines, and constant motion. We are encouraged to multitask, to keep our minds occupied, to generate as many ideas as possible, as quickly as possible. But what if creativity isn't summoned through frantic activity or constant striving? What if it arrives instead, quietly, when the mind is still? Innovation is not something we can force into being. It is not a thing that can be manufactured through sheer willpower or relentless hustle. It is more like a visitor that arrives unexpectedly, often when we are not expecting it, and more often still when our minds are calm, clear, and free from the noise of overthinking. Think about it. When was the last time you had a truly innovative thought in the middle of a chaotic, fast-paced moment? Probably not very often. The best ideas seem to arrive when we create the space for them, or when we step back and allow our minds to relax into a state of stillness. The truth is that our minds are often too cluttered to make room for creativity. When we are scrambling, rushing, or trying to force ideas into existence, we create an environment where creativity struggles to thrive. Just like a rushing river that churns with debris and turbulence, a scrambling mind is full of distractions, anxieties, and pressure, all of which block the flow of creative energy. The more we scramble, the harder it becomes to hear that subtle, creative whisper that is always there, waiting for us to listen. The quieter you become, the more you hear. In silence, in stillness, your mind can begin to sift through the noise and uncover the deeper insights that are buried beneath the surface. When we allow ourselves the gift of stillness, we create space for our ideas to come to us rather than trying to chase them down. This is not to say that we should abandon effort or creativity altogether. It is about finding the balance between effort and relaxation, between doing and being. Innovation, after all, doesn't come from a mind that is trying too hard. It comes from a mind that is open, receptive, and willing to let go of the need to control every aspect of the creative process. In many ways, creativity is like a plant that needs to be nurtured, but it also needs room to grow. If you plant a seed and continue to dig it up, trying to see how it's doing every few minutes, it will never have the chance to take root and grow. Similarly, when we constantly force our thoughts, constantly push for new ideas, we disrupt the natural process of creativity. Innovation, like a seed, needs time and space to take root in our minds, and that space is only created when we stop forcing it to happen. Think about the times when you've had your best ideas, or perhaps while you were taking a walk, driving, or lying awake in bed. These are moments when your mind is not scrambling to achieve anything. They are moments when you have let go of the need to push for answers, when you've allowed your mind the freedom to wander. It is in these quiet moments, free from pressure and expectations, that creativity has the space to emerge. And what's remarkable about creativity is that it is never predictable. It comes not when we try to schedule it, but when we are least expecting it. When our minds are relaxed and open. The beauty of creativity flowing through the still mind is that it doesn't need to be chased, it only needs to be invited. And the invitation comes when we stop pushing so hard, when we allow ourselves to be still, to let go, and to trust that the ideas will come when the time is right. This is the paradox of creativity. The more we try to control it, the further it slips away. The more we let go of our need to control it, the more freely it flows through us. To nurture creativity, we must first learn to nurture stillness. We must allow ourselves to be present, to rest, and to stop scrambling. When we do this, we find that creativity begins to flow effortlessly, like a river that has been allowed to find its natural course. It will not be forced, but it will always find its way to you, quietly and with purpose, if you are willing to listen. In conclusion, the essence of generating your best ideas lies not in chasing them relentlessly, but in creating the space for them to arise naturally. Our minds, much like gardens, thrive when we allow them room to breathe and grow without the pressure of constant striving. Creativity does not need to be summoned through force or frantic activity. It flows effortlessly through a still mind. The quieter we become, the more we can hear, and the more we allow ourselves to be present, the more we open the door to innovation. True creativity is not something we can manufacture. It arrives when we trust in the process, Step back, and let it emerge on its own. So, instead of grasping tightly at ideas, let go. Make space, be still, and you will find that the best ideas are not only within you, but already waiting to be discovered. So if you wish to generate your best ideas, step back, breathe, be still, and let them come to you, like birds returning home. Thank you.